surfing souvlaki. I'm not going to be eating all of this. In fact, some of it's going to be tomorrow's lunch. But in order to do a Grubhub, you got to order a little bit more than you would really want to eat because the delivery charge makes it not worth it. That is the euro. This is the falafel salad. I'm gonna be saving. I'll be saving this for tomorrow because I know I'm not gonna get to it. Hold up, let's turn the sound off. Because Grubhub wants me to like fill out a survey or something. Okay, let's see. Did they give me any silverware? Yeah, well, they gave me some plasticware. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I don't know if there's one or two of these in here. But, so I've been watching all these videos. Most of them kind of gross me out, you guys. I'll be real. Look, I understand if you are a foodie, you're into, like, looking at food, and you're kind of into that crap, right? That's fine. My mom likes to take pictures of her meals everywhere we go. This is what it looks like. I'm probably not even going to finish it. That's fine. That's perfectly normal, right? That a lot of people have an interest in food. But I think a lot of people don't have so much of an interest in overeating, in being as disgusting as that, right? Mmm. 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 All right. I'm doing my foodie booty, whatever her name is, Miriam impression. So anyway, I've been watching all the foodie beauty content, Mariam, and she apparently is one of the content creators she's really mad at is the Breezin channel, right? I was watching that channel and I don't know, seemed pretty normal to me. Seemed like any other React channel to me. And the only thing I would say, I have two criticisms for Breezin. First of all, I'm not aware of, nor do I know what happened with said panel. Eurotime, you're right, Velvet. It's Eurotime. I don't know what happened with said panel where you supposedly had somebody that had blackface. I guess you didn't handle it quickly enough, maybe, to satisfy your viewership, but whatever. Hey, Jenna. Hey, Brandon. Um, yeah, I'm Jenna. That's, yes, I am Jenna. You are correct. Um, so I don't know what the backstory is on Breezen. I don't know what a lot of these backstories are on these React channels where they have various problems, right? So Breezen it was a playback of the live she did today, like a few hours ago. And I felt like it was unnecessary to bring up what she was bringing up because she brought it up without any context, right? So that's the second thing, right? The second thing that I feel like is kind of a problem with her. See, this is what is a small piece, Chantal. You can eat in small chunks. All right, so apparently there's a few channels that have problems with each other. She mentioned Alex is shook, who I love his channel. His channel is awesome. I don't know what her problem is. And she mentioned garlic bread, who I've heard from a few people who have React channels that they have a problem with garlic bread. I guess I'm too new to the scene to really know what the problem is. And I kind of don't care. I don't care. But I think her biggest problem, reason, is that her microphone keeps twitching out. Every time, like I've watched 2 of her streams now, and her microphone is twitching out on her every time she goes live. She doesn't acknowledge it. She doesn't fix it. And apparently she's not watching her videos back to actually even notice that it's happening. Right? So I don't know what to say to that. I'm not even going to eat half of this, you guys. Not even going to eat half of it. How's everybody doing tonight? I got at least 17 people in here, which is pretty good for me. I didn't announce the live stream, so it's not like you had a heads up or anything. I think that my business partner on Undercovered Magazine has gone live on Twitch tonight. So if you're looking for some old school music, he's at twitch.com/DJ Shaman. No sponsorship involved. There's been a lot of drama lately. I've been good, by the way. Are you just talking about like this kind of drama, like this like online bullshit drama? Or do you have like shit going on in your life? Hi, Justin. I'm gonna get through this. It's kind of spicy because it's got red onions on it. And I'm kind of a little sensitive to spice, you guys. But they layered it up with the tzatziki. I think it's called tzatziki sauce. They layered it up, y'all. Which is good. Because oftentimes they don't, a lot of these Greek places, they don't put enough on. Looks like they chopped up the onions pretty small too, so you can bite into them without them just like stringing out of your mouth and shit. So Eugenia went to go visit her grandma's house. I did a video on that. You can check it out. I piggybacked on Revoke's content. I usually do the piggybacks, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't want to give the original content creator clicks, because most of the material I cover is people that I really don't want to support monetarily, monetarily. And so if I piggyback on other content creators who are doing reacts, I'm actually supporting them by tagging them and providing the link. But I am not necessarily, I mean, I am low key supporting the original person, but not in the same way, right? They're not getting any clicks from me, but the React channel is getting a click from me. I like how Greek restaurants marinate their tomatoes. It's yummy. I don't know how you sit on screen and eat a whole goddamn pizza in front of people. I can barely get through like one slice. I mean, granted, her pizza was cut in like squares. It was cut in squares, so they were small pieces. But with a pizza that size, the squares cut the size that they were, I would probably get through about two slices. That's about as much as I can do. See? Still a full sandwich. I'm just eating the top of it right now. I don't know how she can do it. She's like deep throating her food, you guys. The other thing is, and the other React channels need to pick up on this, she's lying about the sciatica because she keeps switching which leg is the problem leg. So if you look at the content from when she was petting camels and then went to the rain lake, she gets in the car and struggles getting her right leg in the car. Okay? Then she goes to the clinic and she's limping on her left leg. She's got her left leg turned way the fuck out, and she's limping hard on it for some scenic footage that she has instructed Salah to film, because she has stated that she determines all of the shots, right? Because she got challenged once, why do you allow Salah to do all these really unflattering pictures of you? And she said, "Oh no, I have complete creative control. It's me. I pick these things out, right?" Okay. You pick these things out. Well, then you just showed us that you struggled getting your right leg into the car and then limping on your left leg and then going to an abandoned school that's been abandoned for 3 decades. 3 decades. And you just pause at a window, you put your gunt on the windowsill, which I imagine caused some temporary relief from gravity, right? And but at the same time, he said you couldn't go inside because of your sciatica, and you reached for your right leg. So which goddamn leg is it, Chantel? Which leg? Um, I'm not seeing a clear cut story here. And yeah, she keeps repeating storylines from movies. Like the whole shadow across the room comes from Barfly. The Dong Chinese immigrant comes from 16 Candles. And uh the when she was in Canada and she went to a school there that she said, I used to go to this school and they were so mean to me on the playground. And the way she described it was a storyline straight out of Recess, the cartoon. I don't know that she's going to ever tell us any factual stories about her past whatsoever. I think she's a pathological liar, and she's just, it's kind of like that SNL skit where I think it was Chris Rock and Keenan, can't remember his last name. They were supposed to talk to juvenile offenders, and every time they were telling them something horrible that could happen to you and blah blah blah, it was out of a movie. It was literally like these things did not happen. They were out of movies. And it seems like that's what Chantel is doing. Mariam, Foodie Beauty, whatever her name is, right? So I'm going to get through a little bit of this. Not a lot of it, but I'll go through a little bit of it. In the meantime, we all have to, well, most of us have to do something tomorrow, whether it be work or, in my case, it's a big ass physical therapy thing. We have a lot to do, right? We just had our Valentine's Day celebrations. We had good times. And we then had, well, oh, that's right. It's President's Day tomorrow. So a lot of you actually probably have it off. I do not. One of the other students asked on Friday if we were getting Monday off, and they said no. So that's a shame. I don't get a day off. But that's okay because I took Thursday off because I was not feeling well. It was starting to really add up. Like all of the physical therapy was really starting to add up. And god damn, that salad is huge. That's going to be like 2 meals at least, or maybe even 3. That is a huge ass salad. I mean, I'm not even going to finish this. I'll try. I'll try and finish it. This is my mukbang. I don't know how she could do it. Like, I'm like sitting here trying to just eat a little bit of this. I can't possibly, like, she would be done right now. She would be literally done right now. And I'm just like, takes me a while to chew. Takes me a while to swallow, right? I don't know how she does it. She can't possibly be chewing her food. I know she chews the pickles because you can hear it, right? Because she doesn't close her mouth. Blessings all the way from Monterrey, Mexico, Can you tell me what the topic is, please? I'm mukbanging some Greek food. So this is a gyro. I have a Greek salad with falafel over here, but that's going to be for tomorrow because there's no way I'm going to get to it. And I'm talking about like the stuff that I cover on my channel, Adriana. Okay? And greetings to you as well. Blessings to you as well. So that's what's going on right now. They did give me a lot of tzatziki, which is nice. But I'm there's no way I can get through all this, you guys. I'll try to do some of it. Try to get through some of it. Yeah, she'd be done with it by now. I'm too slow. There's no way I could actually like get through this, you guys. So what are y'all doing on a Sunday night? Oh, by the way, I watched some Geordie this morning too. Um, it was like a replay back of his live stream from last night. Fortunately, on the replay, he wasn't like calling out Wolfgang Productions, so it wasn't like so hard to watch. And it looks like he might have taken some of our feedback and been better about like sticking to the actual content and subject matter and spending less time jumping out of his live to address comments. Because that's super distracting, right? That is super distracting. I don't know why Breezen has a problem with Alex and garlic bread. I would like to know more information about why everybody is mad at each other. Because also, French Fried Girl apparently has a problem with unicorn fondue. Ooh, I get it. I'll be here enjoying your company then. And it's great news. You can't finish that in one sitting. It means you are healthy, thank God. Yeah, seriously, there's no way I can finish this in one sitting. I'm only going to get a few bites down before I wrap it back up. Because I have like a bird size appetite because I'm mostly sedentary because of my injury. And so I don't burn the kind of calories that I did when I was a team leader for Unite Here's pack. And I was walking 8 hours a day and stuff like that. So I was eating a lot more. I needed to burn more calories. And you have to kind of assess what's going on in your life and, you know, what you should eat. But when you get to the point where you're not doing a lot, you have to kind of force yourself to eat at least something. You can't just go totally dormant, but it can't be like a lot. Otherwise, you're gonna like totally plump up. And I've been very fortunate that I've actually maintained a healthy body weight at 145 um, for, a couple of years, which it could have totally gone wrong for me. I could have ended up plumping up, you know? I totally could have plumped up. Anywho, I was watching Jordy's channel. I've watched several of the other channels, and it seems like nobody's picking up on this thing that she's switching legs. She limps on her left leg, but she grabs her right leg and complains about her right leg. She is switching legs in this story arc, you guys. And generally, when you have sciatica, it affects one leg, not both. But there's a lot of other live streamers out there who suspect, obviously, they can't diagnose her, they're not treating her, that it is diabetic neuropathy, which is a different type of condition that affects the nerves. And if that's the case, I don't know anything about that. What I do know is that it sounds unusual that you would be getting shots like that, like what she's describing, for sciatica. That seems really odd. And, in the past, she's shown us like discharge paperwork of like what's really going on, like what her current weight is, what her blood pressure was, all of the vitals. And she stopped doing that. So I almost wonder, like, is she actually going in, or is she just showing up to the clinic, getting some footage and leaving? Is she still taking that medication? She says she is. She said initially that it was making it more difficult for her to eat. She doesn't seem to have a problem eating right now. So is she actually still taking that medication? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to get like 2 more bites in, and then I'm probably going to wrap this up. Plus, it's messy. It's a messy wrap. Y'all should check out my friend's Twitch. I think he's going live tonight. He does, sometimes he'll do like reggae. Sometimes he'll do hip hop. Sometimes he'll do 80s music. Sometimes he'll do like across the board, 90s, aughts, all of it. It's twitch.com/DJ Shaman. SHAMANN. We've known each other for over 20 years. All right. I think that's about as much as I can eat tonight. Tomorrow's breakfast. And the salad will be part of my lunch. I'm not going to be able to eat that whole salad for lunch, but it's a lot of food. It's a lot of food, you guys. And it's not even 1/4 of what Chantel would order. Not even 1/4. And I can barely eat any of it. That's what happens, y'all. Okay, the other thing is I'm going to probably do a celebratory live stream on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to figure it out. I didn't notice any mistakes, Adriana. I'm sure you're fine. I'm going to do another live stream coming up this week, but I'll have it where it like is scheduled. You'll have like a heads up. And it'll be, just like a low key thank you all for being subscribed and helping me reach the number where I could get monetized kind of thing. But in the meantime, let's watch and see. I'll see you soon as well, Adriana. Let's see what other crazy crap these ladies put out. Eugenia, um, Chantal, and Amberlynn. Those are the three I'd cover. I'm not really into the glitter and lasers or glazers or whatever the glitter and something. The one who tried to take apart a mannequin at a Target. Not really my thing. That one. Um, I can't follow every fat girl on the. I seriously cannot follow every fat girl online, you guys. Hi, Clara. So glad to catch you live. Hey, lady. Well, hey, you, lady. Is that what it is, Adriana? Glitter and lasers? I only covered like that one video where she like tried to take apart a mannequin. And I was like, oh my God, crazy bitch. Like, what are you doing? Plus, on top of it, I used to work for Mervyn's back in the 90s. It was my second job. Hi, Danny. Um, I used to work at a Mervyn's back in the 90s. It was my second job. I was a hairdresser during the day, and then at night I would work in the men's section of a Mervyn's. Open, 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 right? Oh, thank you, Danny. That's very nice of you to say. Danny says, how are you, beautiful? I was just having some dinner. Not much, but it was probably the most pathetic mukbang ever, actually. I'm 49 going on 50, Danny. So whenever like Chantel's coming after grandmas, she's talking about people like me. Because I am a grandma. I have 2 grandkids. She's talking about people like me. That somehow my life is less exciting than hers. Okay, girlfriend. I bet I get a little more sex than you do, but okay. Right now, I'd have to put my glasses on and I don't have them near me. I think it's like 6. Yeah, it looks like it's just after 6 right now, Danny. I'm on the Pacific coast. As a person who lives in OC, I'd appreciate a Jeff Star episode explaining where his bro shit comes from. Oh my God, like I would love that too. Like I don't want to have to be the person who does. He's from HB. Okay, that explains a lot. And Def has that unique energy. Um, for those of you who don't know, Huntington Beach has a history of like Nazi skins and stuff like that they've been around for decades. They've had all kinds of problems for a long ass time, and but it's a tug of war, Clara, because the Democratic Party did actually win the city council, but then we lost it again, right? And so what happened is like we got enough people in to have a majority, and then because of that guy, what was that? He was like an MMA fighter who became mayor in Huntington Beach, and he got in trouble at the beginning of the pandemic for what he did Well, I mean, I can tell you about like Huntington Beach. I can't really tell you specifically about Jeffree Star because he's not in the same generation as me. Um, so it's not like I would have like crossed circles with him at that time, right? Tito Ortiz, you are correct. So Tito Ortiz was formerly the mayor of um, Huntington Beach. And he was this MMA fighter who's like a QAnon crazy, right? And at the beginning of the pandemic, he started really pilfering a lot of the, you know how they were like giving out extra like funds for unemployment and stuff like that. So there was a lot of extra funds being given out and funds for businesses and stuff like that. Like this was all part of that package that Trump put forward to try and get the economy restarted. And Tito Ortiz had running businesses going on at the time that he was collecting this money. And what happened is Michelle Steele, who was the congressperson at the time, I'm going to give you all kinds of tea on this district, all right? Michelle Steele is a Republican congresswoman who was mentored by Dana Rohrabacher. And if you know anything about Dana Rohrabacher, he also was a conspiracy theorist who flew all the way to England to meet with Julian Assange to specifically ask him to give him dirt on Hillary Clinton. And this was after the 2016 election. This is later than that. It's like, it's over, dude. But no, he kept going. And that's how Harley Ruda slipped in because he was able to make his entire campaign about Dana Rohrabacher being a conspiracy theorist. But then when he was running again, because Congress people, their cycles only last 2 years apiece. And he had no firm platform, right? So Harley Ruda had kind of burned all of his volunteers. I'm just being real with you, okay? He burned all of his volunteers. And the people who were volunteering for the actual California Democratic Party endorsed candidate during that primary cycle in 2018, he was so rude to them. And his top donators and supporters were so rude to them that they wanted nothing to do with him either. So nobody fucking helped him in the 2020 cycle. He got no fucking help whatsoever. I don't even think the D-Trip-C came out for him again because he was such an asshole to everybody. So basically, Michelle Steele swept in and got the district. Not by a lot. I mean, it was still pretty close, but it wasn't as close as he had won by. He won by like the skin of his teeth in the previous election. So she slips in, and then when she wants to rerun again, basically what happened is Tito Ortiz was discovered to have abused all these funds, taken all these funds when he shouldn't have, because he still had a job, he still had income coming in, and those funds were intended. It's kind of like Brett Favre. Look at what Brett Favre did. You guys can Google it. I'm not going to go over that one. So basically, the city council, as well as Michelle Steele, forced him to resign. So he resigned his seat as mayor. Let me get to your comments here in a second. He resigned his seat as mayor and then he moved to Texas because that's where all the shit people belong. I'm just going to be real with you. All right, let me look at the comments. Okay. Yes, I think he was Jenna Jameson's ex, actually. You're 45, Clara. Oh, you're catching up on me. Right behind me. Yeah, it was a COVID relief grift. Exactly. And it's always the Republicans who are like, oh, damn, all these people on welfare. Oh my God. And they're literally the ones doing this bullshit. Okay. What does this one say? From Adriana. Do you think Amberlynn is going to be able to have the weight loss surgery before it's too late? I used to believe she would someday. Now I'm not so sure. I think in both cases with both of these ladies, Amberlynn and Chantal, that they have proven that they can't even do the initial diet necessary to get to the point where they would even be considered. You know what I mean? If they can't even put in that much effort to, like, it would not, considering their size, if you consider their size, right? Consider your own size. Most people, when they start a diet, will lose 10 pounds in the first week because you're losing a lot of water weight, right? And if you continue hydrating and continue a good diet, your weight loss is going to fluctuate. It's not always going to consistently go down. There's another great channel, I think his name is Jamal, where he is documenting his weight loss journey. He's already lost 50 pounds since he started at the beginning of January. And he's documenting the whole thing. The thing is, these women are not serious about it because they're making money off of being fat. These are fat fetish channels, period. They are making money from people who have fat fetishes. All right. We have such slime balls running this state. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. Look, Clara, I've been doing political volunteerism for since 2017. And it's challenging. It's really challenging because even the people that you think are like your allies, you can't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody. I left a phone call for somebody who I had considered an ally, and this is the second cycle I've done this. I left a message for her and I asked her, can you tell me who I should vote for the judges? She doesn't fucking return my calls anymore. Really? Really, girlfriend? You don't return my calls anymore? Mm-mm. Well, I'm an organizer in Orange County. And so if you're going to fuck over your organizers, then just keep that in mind when I don't support you for the shit you run for, right? What do I think of Oklahoma? I think it's has a long history of racism and violence. I think it's kind of a messed up state. It's got terrible weather. I would not want to live there myself. Just saying. You know? You're only 40, Robert. You're the same age as Chantal. You're the same age as Chantal. You're actually maybe a year older than her. Your birthday probably comes up later in the year. The desire to change just isn't there. Yeah, you're right. If I were Amberlynn Reed, I'd be in water aerobics. I know. I literally, okay, with a private trainer. I literally suggested that to Chantel on one of my live streams, that she could be like joining a choir to improve her lung capacity, that she could be doing like water aerobics or just laps or something. And the next day she went to that school in Canada and showed off this pool that was there and told a story of a kid crapping in the pool and how it scared her off of pools. It's like she watches our channels, she gets the feedback, and then she immediately makes excuses for why she can't apply the feedback. You know what I'm saying? Who is Everyday Miriam? I don't know anything about her. Is she promoting obesity? Yes, Danny. She recently changed her name to Everyday Miriam. She was formerly known as Foodie Beauty, and she changed her name because there's going to be a docu-series coming out about her by Mr. Snowflake, that she's scared. She doesn't want people trying to search for her channel because she also hid a lot of her content in preparation for this, so that it's not all going to be out there. Um, Her world is falling apart right now, and it's kind of like, it's interesting to watch this sort of train wreck happening right in front of us, where like her world is totally falling apart, and she's very lonely. She keeps pretending that her husband lives with her, but he's never there. He's never at home. You can't hear doors open, you can't hear footsteps in the background, you can't hear a voice saying, "Hey honey, I need to talk to you for a second." You know, none of that shit is going on. She had one performative moment where he came in and brought the hamster cage to her, and that was it. And that's probably simply because he needs to do the bare minimum to get enough money to pay his car payment. That's what I'm thinking, you guys. Anyway, it's not August. What are you talking about? It's August. Yeah, he's Danny. If you're 19, you probably are the youngest one here. Oh, you have the same birthday as Sean Penn? Okay. All right then, Robert. Cool. The choir idea was perfect in my opinion, especially for Sean. I know she likes to sing, right? And she doesn't have any friends. Like, what better way to actually meet people and improve your lung capacity and do it in such a way that you're actually doing something that you enjoy? And all you got to do is stand up for a little bit. All you got to do is stand up for like an hour or two, and that's it. That's like the whole gig. What is this? Foodie Beauty. What a name. It is. That's her name. She is messy, Danny. Oh my God. That's part of like our commentary, is like how disgusting she is. She'll like take a napkin, wipe off the table, and then wipe her face with it and shit. Um, she Revoke, if you guys watch Revoke, Revoke caught a moment during the, I can't remember which meal this was, but she basically had foil on her food, and put it into her mouth and just swallowed it and didn't even like notice it whatsoever. She literally just fucking swallows it. She's not tasting it, she's not chewing it. Yes, she does eat too much, Robert. Oh my God, no. Why is she like that? She probably has some mental issues, Danny. She has probably like, I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, but she probably has an undiagnosed eating disorder that would be like binge eating disorder, and is not being treated for it. And she has some mental issues that is surrounding that because she's got all kinds of other weird sexual things going on with her too. Eugenia and Gypsy also have the same birthdays in July. I haven't really, okay. I haven't really been following the Gypsy thing because I kind of want to just like let her get out of prison and like renew her life, right? It makes me sad that like everybody is speculating on everything that's going on with her. I just don't even want to like look at it. Cash, gas, or grass. No one bees for free. Yeah. Yeah. When she almost grabs the hot pot pie with her bare hand. Oh, her. I think that some of these clowns that actually are paying her on the side, that's the speculation, is that she's getting side gifts to do these mukbangs. Um, I think that one of them, this is what I heard on one of the other live streams today, is that he didn't like the sound of metal silverware clinking on the plates. And so he sent her a wooden spoon, fork, and knife, right? So that it wouldn't clink like that anymore. And I think that she is basically responding to requests from these feeders. Is Eugenia back? Didn't she disappear for a few weeks? Oh, she's gone, dude. Well, okay. She comes by once in a while to just like pump out like Jeffree Star cosmetics. But she is not really participating on TikTok anymore. And I think that has to do with the fact that she can't make any money on the platform and she can't live stream with her friends. Because think about it like this, right? If she's age restricted, then she tries to live stream with, like, say, Jeffree Star, her best buddy since 2008. Um, he is not age restricted. So they cannot be in a live stream together because she cannot be viewable to his audience because she is age restricted, right? So she's done very little on TikTok and very little on Instagram from what I've seen. Her trotters. I try not to like use that is, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna jump on board with garlic bread and French fry girl in making up names. And the reason being, it goes back further than them for me, is that, yeah, you're right, Danny. That's all she's doing is promoting Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Um, The reason being for me is that I've been in politics for a long time now. And not only do we have Trump making up names against his opponents that are ridiculous names, and it just makes it difficult to make reasonable adult choices um, about who's running for what. But I've seen it in my political circles too, where they do that sort of schoolyard bullshit of making up names against people. And so when I see it happen in this community, I just don't want to play with that. I don't want to be a part of that. Oh, I don't know who Blair White is, Danny, so you'll have to educate me. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. It sounds like the wind is starting to roll in, which means that the rain is coming in next. Totally agree with you on the names. That being said, FFG is wildly funny with her comic timing. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I think she's hilarious. I just I don't like to jump into that particular side of it. I'm not going to give her a hard time for it. Like, literally, she's being called a goblin. Like, she has every right to strike back. It's just not how I would handle it per se, but um I don't know who Blair White is. Maybe you can send me like the information about like what her channel is or something. Is that the one that uses the puppets, the the one that it looks like Sesame Street puppets? Yeah, exactly, Clara. For FFG, it's personal, so I'm not going to tell her how to handle it. That's her, like, but I'm not going to, like, where do I don't fit into that scenario. It's not me, you know? Um, I would rather not throw names at any of these people. I'm just watching in amazement that this is an actual genre on YouTube, you guys. Do you have me on Instagram? I am on Instagram under my name. I pretty much am straight up about my name like everywhere. I don't use Instagram very often though, I'll be real with you. So there's probably like tons of messages in there that I haven't read. I'm pretty bad about that. I'm far more likely to read stuff on Facebook because I'm that old. That's how old I am. I read things on Facebook. Because you know what? Who was it? I think it was Unicorn Pandu. Who was like, I don't understand why everybody left MySpace and went to Facebook. That's such a bad decision. Well, okay, let me explain to you why we all left MySpace. MySpace, in order to have a profile at MySpace, you had to learn coding. You had to get coding to actually decorate your wall. So you had to like put all this fucking code on your wall to actually make it look like anything. And then we found out all the college kids were moving to this new program called Facebook that was much simpler. The only stipulation was you had to use your real name. And so it was like, well, fuck this bullshit. So everybody fucking left MySpace. And we're like, fuck this bullshit. We all went to Facebook. And then our parents followed us. All right. I will send you on Instagram. Okay. I already read that. I'm one of those rare birds that's only on YouTube. I know I'm far more on YouTube these days than any other platform. But I do check Facebook once in a while because I have a lot of political contacts who are sending me messages, and I get, like requests for going to like fundraisers, going to volunteer gigs and shit like that. Yeah. Okay. So, Robert, you went to MySpace or going on MySpace? That's not when you left MySpace in 2009 to 2010? Because I was on MySpace in like 2005. I just found it unbearable to use because it was like so stupid that you had to put all this code in just to make your profile look like something. Like, why did it have to be so difficult? You know? I didn't get it. I first joined MySpace in 2009 before going to Facebook in 2011. Okay, so your timeline's a little late. Your timeline's a little behind on that. I pretty much abandoned MySpace in 2009. I was done with it. And when I went to Facebook, my boyfriend had a fucking cow because he thought it was a dating app. And he thought, but the whole reason I went over there, like the original reason that I set up an account there is that I found out a friend of mine, an ex-boyfriend of mine from high school, had died of cancer, and there was some sort of tribute page over there that explained what happened. So that's why I set up an account so that I could figure out what happened. Have you been to Dubai or anywhere in the Middle East? I don't even have a passport, Danny. The only countries I've been to outside of the US are Mexico and Canada, and that was pre 9/11 when they were not checking for passports. Then you went on Instagram in summer of 2015. Well, you did that, I think, before I did. I adopted Instagram much later, and I'm not very good about using it. I'm pretty terrible about using it. I've got some pictures there, but like I'm pretty bad about using Instagram, you guys. You're from Dubai? I heard it's beautiful. I think that Star Wars movie, what was it like? Rogue One was kind of like based architecturally on Dubai, like how they designed the buildings in the final scene and stuff like that. I think that's what they did, right? I don't like this shadow on my face, but if I go outside and have a cigarette, I'm going to be like in darkness. But I want to. I want to have a cigarette, you guys. Uh, Washington State. My brother and sister-in-law were living up in Seattle for like 5 years. How do you get a new passport? I imagine that you have to go to the post office or something. to do that out here. I'm not, I've never done it before, so like I couldn't really tell you the procedure completely. Dubai can be really cool. Yeah. If you ever come here, I'd love to give you a makeup. That's very sweet of you, Danny. Um, that's nice. I mean, I'd be happy with just a cup of coffee, but I'm not much of a world traveler. I pretty much I when I do travel, it's like to places like Washington D.C., Washington State, like where Robert lives, Oregon, like Portland, Oregon, Yosemite, San Francisco. Um, I've been up to Yellowstone. I've been down to New Orleans, um, Florida. I've been to Florida a few times. In August 1993, I moved to Tennessee 31 years ago. Are you still there? When you were 9? No, you just said you're in Washington, right? Tennessee's hot, right? Like you got all that fucking humidity in the summer. I'd love to glam up, do your hair and makeup and everything. I'm gonna chop my hair, by the way. I've been growing it out for about a year because I want to go back to my natural color, which is gray, right? But I don't want to have to deal with like having to color it anymore. So I've been waiting for it to get long enough that it's not like that I don't look like I have like a butch cut. And I think it's about long enough now that it'll look like a shag if I cut it. Do you watch true crime documentaries? Have you heard? Oh God, have I heard about the Night Stalker? He fucking hit Mission Viejo where I live. We used to lock our doors before he came by. Yes, I've heard about the Night Stalker. There was a kid in Mission Viejo who actually got the information necessary to get him caught. He got the license plate and a car description. The kid, I think, lived off of Crescenta. I used to be a hairdresser, Danny. I was a cosmetologist for 5 years before I decided to go back to college and try and get a corporate job so I could provide benefits for my son. Yeah, you should look up the article about the kid. He had to testify in court and got stared down by Richard Ramirez while he was doing it. His experience was that Richard Ramirez tried to break into the house where his mom and dad were asleep in bed. He happened to be like in the garage or something looking for something and could hear the prowler like coming around. And so he hid in the garage. And then I guess Richard like fucking gave up on them. And so he was able to like get out and like see the car, get the license plate, and then Richard went to another address like a couple blocks away and raped and murdered somebody. Oh, you are still in Tennessee. I thought you said. Wait, maybe I'm confusing these comments. Tennessee has got like. I lived in Richmond, Virginia for 3 years, which is similar, but your climate is probably a little harsher. I found that there was only like 2 weeks in the fall and like 2 weeks in the spring where you could actually be outside because it was either too cold or too hot and humid. It was just like miserable temperatures at all times. Oh yeah, totally. Add me on some social media. I'll be real though, I don't check the other platforms all that often. Um, and mostly I've been sticking to the YouTube now. You know, ask any woman in SoCal of a certain age, and yes, they know the Night Stalker and the Hillside Stranglers. Yeah, I mean, we've had our issues, right? We've had our issues, but yes, the Night Stalker was a big one for me because it hit my hometown, and I was in the fourth grade when that happened. So, um, I was like 9 when that happened. Wasn't as bad for me as it was for Jennifer Ramirez in my class, though, because she was already an awkward kid, and oh my god, did she get teased when that fucking happened. I feel sorry for her now. John Wayne Gacy. I've watched a lot of these things. Um, I've watched a lot of these true crime things, but I've been pretty much watching some of the more recent stuff now. Like, I'm waiting for the sentencing of Ruby Frankie right now, right? And Jody Hildebrandt. I bet you anything Jody's going to get a stronger sentence than Ruby. I bet you anything that Ruby is going to say, I was brainwashed. Oh, Debbie, you were there too? Um, were you kind of close to it, or because we were, I'll be real with you, I don't live anywhere near this area anymore, but we were up by um, Olympiad and Geronimo when this happened. Did you? No, I did not watch the Taylor Shab business case. I did not watch that one. Debbie. Did we go to high school together? Did we go to high school together? Did you go to Capo? I really like, okay, so Robert and Danny, because you guys are like really into this, right? I really liked Dateline and Forensic Files. Those were the two big ones for me in the aughts. I really loved those shows. And I especially love Keith Morrison. And I love, what's his face? Bill Hader. I love his impersonation of Keith Morrison. It's so good, you guys. Mmm. Oh, did you like that? She got to check it out. It just happened. She chopped off her. Oh, I think I saw something swirling around the interwebs about that, but I didn't stop to click on it. But I think I saw a headline about that. I have been watching various true crime things. You know who I like to watch is Live from My Sofa. That guy. Live from My Sofa covers some good stuff. There's a couple other channels I watch. One of them is Amy with two M's. I can't remember her last name. And Swoop. If you guys aren't watching Swoop, Swoop is fantastic. But I'm sure that all of these channels are going to jump the fuck on that sentencing because it's supposed to happen on February 20th. That's going to be the big update. I'm sure they've already been like collecting all kinds of additional content, like stock footage, to throw in there with their announcement of the verdict. Well, it's not the verdict, it's the sentencing, but I do not watch Bailey Sarian, but you know, like I don't have time. Like I'm not sitting here watching shit all day. You know what I'm saying? I spend most of my evening talking to my boyfriend on Zoom. My morning is mostly, and part of my afternoon is spent um, doing physical therapy. I take naps because I get really tired, and then in between all of that, I squeeze in some time to do some reacts, you know? Is that what you guys want to see out of me? Is more true crime stuff? I don't know that I'd be great at it because it's kind of one of these like legal jeopardy things where you have to be super careful about like how you cover it. And if you look at the React channels that actually do cover, oh, you went to Laguna Beach, okay. Were you there when what was his name? Taylor Hawkins or Taylor I think his name was Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters. He went there too. He was going there too. So you must have moved. You had to have been in Mission Viejo like in the early 80s when this happened and then moved for high school, right? He's always blow out. What time is it? It's probably getting kind of late. Okay, so you want me to do true crime. Well, let me see what I could muster up for you. I will definitely be covering when Ruby and Jody get sentenced. I'll be doing like a recap on like all the bullshit that they did and whether or not the sentence seems like it's deserved or not enough, you know? In my opinion, I'll be real with you. If they don't, if Ruby doesn't get 30 years, I don't think it's enough. And in the case of Jody, I think she deserves even more because she did it not only to, I mean, I know that they're only trying her for the crimes against these two children, but all this additional information about other people that she has abused and hurt, I think should be considered in her sentencing. And it seems to me, if I remember correctly, that each one of those charges that they agreed to plead guilty to, right? Each one of them has a penalty of 30 years, right? So it can be served concurrent or consecutive. And I have a feeling they're going to be more lenient with Ruby than they will with Jody. And partially, I think that has to do. I have a couple opinions on that. I am a smoker, okay, Claire. That's just how I roll. Part of it is this. I think that they're going to punish Jody harsher because she has affected more people, but also she has embarrassed the church because the church was actually sending recommendations to her, you know, recommending her services and stuff like that. So that's embarrassing for them that this happened. But third, it was basically revealed that she is either bisexual or a lesbian. And I don't think the church wants anything to do with that. So I have a feeling Jody's going to get a much harsher set. Oh, you're a bit older than me, Debbie. I can't remember. Taylor might have been your age or within that range. I think he actually might have been going to high school at the same time as you because I have a friend whose sister in law was also going to high school around that time and knew him. And apparently he used to do the bar crawl. I'm sure you know, I mean, if you're in Laguna, right? You know the Lapu Lapus and all that. He apparently would do the bar crawl and go over to the marine room and sit in and play drums. He also did a lot of charity work down there. I had to explain to my campaign that when I was working for them, that they needed to be ultra sensitive with their door knocking over the next week or two because of his death. People in the neighborhood would be ultra sensitive and they're not going to want to hear a bunch of bullshit. So you have to keep that in mind, you know? All right. Okay, kids, adults, friends, family. I'm going to wrap it up here because I got to put the food away and my boyfriend's going to be calling me soon so that he can watch funny clips with me about like late night television, SNL clips, and that's what we do on Sunday. SNL clips usually. And he likes to watch me fall asleep. It's very sweet. I mean, if you're going to be in love with somebody, make it, somebody who really cares, right? Thank you all for joining me this evening. Thank you all for subscribing. And yeah, it is. It is good, Robert. I like SNL. It seems like every once in a while, they get some winning cast members. I really like that Asian dude that they got right now. It was great chatting with you as well, Clara. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Good night, Debbie. Good night, Danny. Y'all take care.